What is up, my friends? I am delighted to say the collaboration that we've been looking to get together for quite a while now has finally happened. I am joined by the one, the only Mr. Leo's Goals. How are we, sir?
I'm doing well. It's such an honor to be on this channel because seriously, for smaller creators like myself, like Anfield Agenda is such an inspiration, and the way you've taken the channel and just the community, everything around it, it's beautiful to see. So seriously, thank you for having me on.
Oh, it's my pleasure, sir. Honestly, we're big fans of what you do as well. I was on holidays last month and I took some time to really go through your content and have a look. And your shorts game is sweet, mate. It is absolutely beautiful. And you're a very positive person. That is also lovely to see. And
How are you?
I think you'll enjoy the tonight's stream. We're gonna have some fun. Any
Yes.
questions you guys have for myself or Leo, please put them into the chat. We'll get to them. But first and foremost, I want to say huge congratulations, mate. 102,000 subscribers. That
Thank
silver plaque
you.
is on the way.
Thank
You must
you.
be delighted.
Yes, no, really, but the most special thing is, and as you see as well, it's just like the community to see when you put out positivity, because I've seen you talk about hate comments in the past, and when you spread positivity, I really feel like that's what can come back within YouTube, and what's just been so beautiful is that there haven't been that many hate comments, and I see it with Enfield Agenda too, and the energy that you give off is what comes back, and that's what I love, whenever I go on your streams you bring that light, and I think that's the power of this community, you know what I mean? And that's why it's seriously, thank you for having me on. It's an honor.
Mate, it is reciprocated on this side as well because we try to be positive. There's just so much negativity, and people get up every
Exactly.
day and they're bombarded with it in the news. They're bombarded with it everywhere. We like to make it a bit lighthearted, give people a
Yeah,
chance to share their opinions and views, and we're always asked about yourself. So it really is my pleasure to be here with you today talking about football, and I'm sure you'll get a
absolutely.
warm welcome from our audience because we know they love
Mhm.
you as well.
Thank you.
Right, let's get stuck into it. Colin with a super chat first of all said, "Hello, you two sexy lads." I'll take that, Colin. Thank you. Pleasure being here with you two today. Craig, love you as always. How are you? I'm good. And Leo, you need to teach me how to grow a beard. And I'll second that, Leo. You could teach me as well because I can't grow one.
Yeah. No, I mean it's just the French genes in France and Italy. That's how it goes.
I'm very jealous. I'm very jealous. But let's have a reflection, if we can, Leo, really
Yeah,
quickly back to the game at the Etihad.
yeah.
What was your takeaway from that game? Were you happy with the point?
So I was so happy in the end because the reality is I do think City were the better side, and therefore at full time it was just like kind of relief that, especially that corner, that corner where Haaland headed it and it was almost somebody would have just tapped it in and it would have gone in. So around those moments I was just like, thank God, honestly, that we kept a point, because not losing at the Etihad, I don't know when the last time that occurred, but it felt like a win just because I'm so confident that Anfield will beat them. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. I think with draws like that, it's always important how the draw comes to fruition.
Yeah.
So we went there, we went behind, and we found the way back into the game. And I'm so proud of Trent, mate. I know you are as well. But to see him step up in that moment, away from home in a hostile atmosphere, we had nothing in the game. I mean, shades of Steven Gerrard, dare I say it.
No, it was a special, special moment, and that's what I think is really special about this team right now is the fact that when we're not playing at our best, we still manage to get something out of the game. And I don't think we were anywhere near that last season. So that's what makes me really hopeful about this season. The fact that the mentality has completely turned around, and you can see the desire is there, even when we're not in our game.
I couldn't agree more, mate. I couldn't agree more. And I've been pleasantly surprised, Leo, to see how quickly the midfield rebuild has settled in. And I mean, I want to get your thoughts on the
Yeah,
signings we've made: Dominic Soboslai, Ryan Gravenberch, Alexis McAllister, Watoro Endo. I mean, that's
it's
not too shabby, as we
Oh
like to say,
my,
of a rebuild.
no. No, honestly, like I think a lot of us were kind of critical of FSG this summer in terms of not signing a proper number 6. And then when the window finally shut and the season began, but I think a big credit has to go to Klopp. Like he's the one that's he's the one that's getting the best out of these players, let's be real. But like the fact that all these players, like you said, have gelled in so fast, especially Suboslai, who comes from a different league. He was 22 years old. Like all of this, he comes in and he's like our best midfielder already. You know what I mean? Like it's crazy. And I do think though that we still need a 6. I think we'll talk about the window later on, but definitely in terms of quality, like it's also made us a much better defensive team. That's what I think doesn't get talked about enough too. Like we look so good going forward, but we're also conceding a lot less. You know what I mean? We've conceded the least after Arsenal. We've conceded 11 in the league this season. So it's like that definitely the midfield plays a part, you know?
Also, I think we can speak about Virgil van Dijk's resurgence as the centre back that we all know and love him for. I mean, I think if I'm correct, he's statistically the best defender in the top 5 leagues in Europe, which is
100%.
so beautiful
Yeah.
to say again, isn't it?
Yeah. No, and the way he's taken on the captain's armband, like seriously, it looks like he's just wanting to take that and that responsibility. And boy, has he shown it so far, you know. And also some other players too. What I loved about the game against City, it's like the ones that everyone doubted before, like Joel Matip, Costas. Everyone was like, I even doubted. You know, I was like, should we play Gomez at left back? Like he's better defensively. All these things. Boy, did he have Foden in his pocket though. You know what I mean? So, like, honestly, I was proud of the whole team.
Yeah, I think Joel Matip has gone about his business since we've signed him on a free and never really let us down. I mean,
No.
where do you stand on his contract situation, Leo? Would you like to see an extension for Joel at the end of the season?
Yeah. No, honestly, like it depends kind of I still think we need to sign a center back, you know what I mean? This summer, I think all of us still wanted a center back, but the way he's playing right now, he has to get at least a 1 year extension makes sense given his age, but right now with Ibu Konate, given how injury prone he is sometimes, and I love Ibu to bits, you know, but like I think we kind of need that experience in there, and I thought he was great against City. I know for the first for the goal he was maybe at fault with Virgil, but apart from that, I thought he was like immaculate, you know?
So, what I want to ask you after that result, and look, I get
Yeah.
carried away. I'm a
Yeah,
very, very
me too.
optimistic person with
I've had
Liverpool.
the smile like this for
Are we genuine title contenders, Leo, in your eyes?
I think we still need to take a little bit of time, but the reason I am so optimistic is you see all the places we've gone away from home, Chelsea, Spurs, Wolves, City, all of these teams that are difficult to face and we haven't lost. And let's be real, the Spurs game too, we don't really count that result, you know, like it was shambles, absolute shambles. And then the rest, like we haven't lost, you know what I mean? And that is that mentality again where it's like this team has the desire to keep fighting, and I do think with City winning the treble, of course, they're human beings. They're going to drop off a little bit. And that's where we need to pounce. And I do think we're a better football club than Arsenal.
So when I look at Manchester City's achievements last year,
Yeah.
and then they're coming into a new season, and obviously they've got Arsenal and the great job Arteta's doing, I,
Yeah.
I can't help but think I know what impact the chasing the quadruple did for us and how
Yeah.
it fatigued us mentally and physically. So I came into this season, Leo, not expecting Manchester City to be what they have been in recent
Yeah.
years, and that's what gives me such optimism.
No, absolutely. That's so true to compare it also with our quadruple season because we got to see the impact it had after. But to be fair, City, this is why I like title contenders, sure, but City, we know how they just turn it on later in the season, and they just if they want to win 15 games in a row, they can. And De Bruyne being out like is a massive blow for them. And I do think if he had been fit at the Etihad, it would have been a different game. You know what I mean?
I want to
Like,
look a little bit ahead to the window because there's already a
yeah.
super chat in
Oh
from
yeah.
DVR, and I want to apologies if I mispronounced my friend. He said top three transfer targets for both of you in January. So what's realistic, Leo?
I mean, I think defensive mid 100% has to be the position that we go for because you see away from home, Maka, I love him, but we don't control the midfield. Even Luton away, I thought we didn't control the midfield, you know? So I think we need that proper destroyer type defensive mid. And there's so many options on the market. And Andre's probably the one, right, that we've been linked with the most. But what do you think? I feel like you know a lot more names than me with
So
this.
I'm a little bit confused into the
Yeah.
Andre situation because we were openly courting him
Yeah.
in the summer market, and now that he's actually available, it seems, according to the headlines, Fulham are the most likely destination. So you can only assume if
Yeah.
Fulham are going for him and are likely to get him, that ourselves or Arsenal or other clubs have backed off, and I
Yeah.
honestly don't know why.
And what other names would you say in terms of defensive mid that you think we could be going for?
Well, I've seen us linked today to Douglas Luiz, and it leaves me scratching my head
Ooh.
because we could have had him 18 months ago on a free. when he was leaving Aston Villa, and he signed a
Oh
new deal.
no.
So here's what I don't know. So I'm unsure if Jurgen really feels that football's evolving and Alexis can become a number six, a version of a number six. But I'm also
Yeah.
intrigued to see if he tries Mr. Gravenberg in that position in the future, because I think he has the attributes for it.
Yeah. Yeah, no, honestly, Gravenberg can do it all. He could do it all. The only thing that I think would be a bit disappointing is you saw that run he made for our equalizer. He literally picked it up from our own box and took it all the way to Lucho on the left wing. And the only problem with him being defensive mid is I think we wouldn't be utilizing his ability on the ball to just take it to the opposition, and that's what he's done so well. So yeah, I love Maka, and I think we're not getting the best out of him if we play him in that defensive mid role. Like he's not that player. Like it doesn't make sense. He has so much ability on the ball that we saw it for Argentina that I think it's a waste to try to mold him into that. And also, if we want to win the title this season, we don't have the space or time to try to mold a player. Like they have to be ready made. You know?
Yeah, I mean it's a fair point. I mean, Jurgen, I think do you know what? I want to anchor this with the Trent conversation, because we've
Yeah,
seen a lot of stuff, especially from Jamie Carragher, to say move Trent into midfield. Trent
yeah,
needs to be in midfield. But the question I have there around that, Leo, is if we move Trent into midfield, I don't see how the system can accommodate it, because
yeah,
we've got Soboslai, we've got Gravenberg,
yeah.
we've got Jones, we've got so
Absolutely.
many options. Where do we play Trent in midfield if he
Mm,
goes there? Because he's not a
yeah.
defensive midfielder.
Yeah. No, and the crazy thing too is he was saying, remember those quotes that he came out during the international break with England? He was saying how he just loves to run forward. Like he was talking about all these attacking things, but not the defensive part of the game. And I don't think he realizes that in the Klopp system, our midfielders have to run so much. They have to track back. They have to do the dirty work. You know what I mean? Like look at Genie. He was our huge instrumental in us winning the trophies under Klopp, and we still play a similar system in terms of that pressing back, that's those sprints. Trent is gonna have to do that if he's in the midfield. So whether he likes it or not, he's gonna have to defend unless I don't know what he wants to do. You know what I mean? Like every position under Klopp, you have to run. You know,
The only
like
the only thing I can think of is if Jurgen went to a back three, and I think
yeah.
with one more addition
Uh,
of a centre back, we could probably play that
yeah,
system. That's the only way I can see Trent maybe becoming a
yeah.
midfielder, is if we stack the midfield with an extra player.
But do you think that Trent, like just seeing his mentality on the pitch, do you think he's now has this mentality of just wanting to be a midfielder and wanting to be more of an attacker, or do you think he's okay with being a right back?
I
Like his
think
body
he
language.
I think he will happily play where Jurgen asks him to, but I'll tell you
Yeah,
what I have noticed is he has matured massively as a leader. You can see it in
yeah,
him now. Like he took it upon himself with his celebration to shush
yeah.
in front of the Etihad fans. And look, I know somebody in the chat's asking about thoughts on him being punished for that. He isn't being
No,
punished.
he's not.
That's
Yeah,
definitely not
James
happening.
Pierce. Yeah, put something out about it. He's
Which
not.
is good news, because it would have been silliness if he was. But I've been so impressed, Leo, with how Trent has stepped up this season. It's almost like he matured over one summer into a man.
No, no, he's been, and even it's annoyed me the game against City because everyone's like, "Oh, Doku ran past him 7 times." Like the reality is, if you look at those occasions, did he get any goals? Did he get any assists? No. There's maybe one or two of those chances that led to something interesting. The rest, nothing. So he did his job, and he scored the equalizer. So I don't get all the hate that came after it. You know?
I don't get it either. I thought Trent did really well in that
Yeah,
game against what is a very tricky player in Jeremy Doku, and I think Trent limited him. Yes, you're always going to have moments
yeah.
where you're isolated one-on-one, but in the main, I thought Trent defended really well, as did our other fullback, which I'm very pleasantly surprised with. I thought Costas had a very good game as well.
Top, no, top class. Especially what I love to see is I wanted us to really defend first and then attack, especially the fullbacks. And I thought Costas did so well in terms of prioritizing his defensive duties before making those reckless runs where he leaves space behind. And so, yeah, Costas, honestly, and he ran so much. He pressed. My cousin watched it with me. We did a watch along, and he doesn't watch much Liverpool. And he's like, Leo, like this Costas guy is a machine. Like he's your top three best players. I'm like, no, no. So then you don't watch us the whole season, you don't know. But no, he had a top game, honestly.
I think in January, it's looking like we may get a defensive
Yeah,
reinforcement. So to go back to the gentleman super chat question, I think The Beraldo has been linked. I'm sure you've seen that
Yeah,
young Sao Paulo centre back. My
yeah,
question with him is he ready? And I truly don't
yeah.
know, Leo. Maybe you've got more of an insight in it than I, but
No,
I don't know much about
sorry.
him.
No, no, honestly, the Brazilians, I don't watch the Brazilian league and I haven't watched highlights of his. But like you said, it's true that with the center back, the decent thing is we do have a decent amount of options in terms of, Matip, Joel, Matip, Ibu Konate. All we have three other options, with Virgil. And so like we could give a center back time, you know what I mean? In terms of they wouldn't have to be thrown into the deep end, right?
Absolutely,
So
absolutely.
we have some freedom with that, I feel like.
I think personally, I'd like to see a fullback, a utility fullback. I don't
Yeah.
know if we need a specialist just yet. We've been
Mm,
linked with Barco as well from Boca Juniors. He's a young guy. I think he's 19 years of age.
mm.
We've been linked with like Nuri as well, who I think has been linked to PSG as
Oh yeah.
well.
Yeah.
And they're ones I can understand, Leo. To be fair,
Yeah.
like Nuri he's a very solid player.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, no, those are all honestly though at the end of the day, I think it all comes back to Klopp, and everything. It's like anyone who's ever like criticizing the owners, like I feel like that can come after Klopp hangs up, he stops being a manager, which I hope is in 50 years. But seriously, I really do feel like Klopp can get the best out of any player, and that's what for me makes him the best manager in the world. It's the fact that he might not be tactically the best manager in the world, but boy, can he get the best out of players and make them feel like they're at the top of their game, as a man manager.
He is second to none. He's phenomenal. I love Jurgen Klopp, and when he signed that contract extension, Leo, that was
Oh,
better for me
best
than
day.
any player extension. I was so happy. I pinch myself still that he's our
Yeah.
coach.
No, honestly, he's special, and it really feels like he's meant for Liverpool Football Club too, as a man, outside of what's happening on the football pitch.
So I can't have you on coming from France without speaking about my new fascination,
Yeah.
Kylian Mbappe. We
Oh,
need to talk about
yeah.
Mbappe.
No, he's especially for France, he turns it up a level. Like he's insane for France. But I definitely like I get asked too, like, what do you think about him coming to Liverpool? Because you'll be a free agent, and he's likely the links are saying that Real Madrid don't want him anymore. So how many clubs in the world can really get him now? Not that many. But I really don't think he's a Liverpool player. Like I think he's a great player, but he's not the type that's gonna do the work for the team. You know what I mean? And that's what Klopp wants. He wants selfless players.
It's interesting though because if you go back to when Killian was at Monaco,
Yeah.
there's reports that John W. Henry flew
Yeah.
him and his
I
family
remember.
around in a private plane and tried to convince him to move to
Yeah.
Anfield. We
Mm.
know, if I'm not mistaken, his mum is very fond of
Yeah.
Liverpool, and everything that I've read and heard suggests that Liverpool have kept in contact with the Kylian Mbappe family and representatives for the last 6 years, and there's very
Yeah.
good respect there. So
Yeah.
I think a couple of things would have to happen, Leo, for it to even become a possibility. One, Real Madrid would have to be sincere in their belief that
Yeah.
they're not coming back in.
Yeah.
And I think we would probably have to either lose Mohamed Salah
Yeah.
to Saudi Arabia or somebody come in and buy Lucho, something like that.
Yeah.
But I think in the right circumstances,
Mm.
I could see it as a possibility. But what I
Wow.
can't answer is whether Jurgen would feel like the concerns that you've raised and many others
Yeah.
have raised about would he put the work in for the team? Would he be a distraction? That I guess I can't give the
Yeah.
answer to because I don't know him personally.
Yeah. But no, what I hope it's an environment thing, but I'll tell you that I watched the recent PSG game, the Champions League with PSG fans, and I asked them their opinion because they watch him week in, week out, and they were getting so frustrated at Mbappe because they're like, on our good day, he dominates and he has these moments of magic, but he's like on our bad days, he's a source of our problems because he's not tracking back and he creates a mentality within the team that's negative, where it's like I can do it all by myself, and we don't want that at Liverpool. We don't want that.
That's true, and
But
I don't believe that
I'll
Jurgen
still
would bring
take him though
anybody
any
in.
day. I'll still take him any day.
So would I. I won't lie. I'm still getting over Jude Bellingham. Just about
He's
getting
the one I
over
wanted the
the
most.
Jude
No,
Bellingham
no,
thing.
no.
It hurts seeing him do what he's doing for Real Madrid.
But who would be for you then of anyone that you could sign, whether it be January or the summer, that you think makes us title like favorites or like really toe to toe with City again?
If we had have pulled off the Caicedo deal, I think
Yeah,
that would have been extraordinary.
yeah,
I don't know. Is
Mhm.
there too many? I have to admit, like
Yeah,
my knowledge of defensive midfielders from around the
yeah,
world that are both in our price range or
yeah,
available is limited. I mean, there was some talk at one point about a possible swap for Frankie De Jong,
yeah,
and I wouldn't say no. I do love
yeah,
De Jong, but I don't see him being an option because his wages at Barcelona, I think,
yeah,
are rather high.
yeah, yeah.
It's it's a crazy one, but you know what? I do have faith in our transfer system. I
Oh yeah,
do, because they've pulled some rabbits out of the hat recently, and I have to say, for all my criticism of FSG, and there has been a lot, I
yeah.
was gobsmacked when I'd seen that they'd sanctioned that fee to sign
That
Caicedo.
was crazy. No, honestly, I've never been so surprised and shocked about something, and I think it happened at, like, midnight or 1 a.m. or something when it came out. I think it was David Ornstein, right, that reported it for the first time, and I was like, "There's no way FSG this is under FSG's reign that we would have broken," by the way, the British fee, I'm pretty sure, if that had gone through, you know? So it was, like, absolutely crazy.
It would have
But
been extraordinary, but it wasn't to be. You know
yeah.
what? Before I want to get to what makes you, Leo, tick, and I want to get your journey to here. So, if you don't mind, I'm sure our audience would love to know, how did you get into the content world, and what brought you to make your channel? What brought you to start Leo's Goals?
Yeah. So it initially started with the Instagram Liverpool goals, which was like over 10 years ago, and that was just more without like a face to it. It was more just bringing news and just sharing that love, and creating around that. But it was really because I was living in the US back then, and I'm originally from France and Iceland, so I grew up, in Europe, and I loved Liverpool because in Iceland Liverpool is huge. And so I moved to the States when I was quite young. I was like 11, and no one around me cared about football, let alone Liverpool. You know what I mean? So I was like alone at school. Like no, everyone was just talking about basketball or American football like this, and I was just like, I don't care about this stuff. And so I turned online and I just started sharing stuff, and but then doing more Leo's goals. Honestly, you've been a big inspiration in terms of starting this channel. And I know you're an inspiration for many because you've also shared about how difficult the journey is too. And I think that's so important too, to not just say, oh, it's all perfect. Like it is the dream job, but also it's like it comes with receiving a lot of hate. There's a lot of things along the way. And I saw a lot of those moments when you shared that, and I can tell you that it had an impact because I was like, everyone's gonna receive hate messages. There's gonna be trolls everywhere, but you just have to keep going. And the way that you've kept going and just taken things to another level, like truly, I'm like, you see how today it's just the shorts, and my dream is to be able to do longer form consistently like you, because that's the goal. But like to see you doing it makes others believe, yes, I can do it too. You know what I mean? And then also to do it in a way where it's not clickbaity, it's not trying to uh latch onto people's attention, and for you to still do so well really has been amazing to see from the outside, because like that's truly, it's been an inspiration for Leo's goals, a big inspiration, because I've been like, I can be me, and I'm a positive person, and I like to spread positivity, because I think negativity is, like you said, especially given how the world is right now, nobody wants that. Like football for us is a way to escape from all of that and come together. And that's what you've done with your channel. And so I've seen that, and that's when I decided, I can put more of a face to it, because in the end, like I said in the beginning too, I think if you spread that type of energy, then that's what's going to build around you, and that's what you've managed to do, and it's beautiful. It's
That is
really
so kind. Honestly, that means a lot, mate. It does. It's not a straightforward journey, but
no.
it is beautiful to see like-minded people like yourself
Mhm.
making positive content, because it is difficult. It's difficult to stay optimistic and positive at times, but I'm very fortunate. I've stumbled across a community of people that have never shunned me, never judged me, and I
Mm,
always talk about our community of our chat. They are the
mm,
ones that make the channel Anfield Agenda what it is, and um, my heart is singing with joy, mate, at the minute having
yeah,
you on and being able
yeah,
to see the positivity in the chat. It is a
yeah,
beautiful change from an industry where there's a lot of aggravation, there's a lot of
yeah,
undermining, there's a lot of talking smack about people, and it doesn't need to be that way. We can
exactly,
reach across and we can help each other out. And you've
exactly.
inspired me to be better at making shorts and be better at making
Mhm.
types of content. So I can promise you, mate, it's a two-way street, and the
Yeah,
respect flows right
that
back
means
to
a
you for
lot. That means a lot. No, but seriously, and to see also the journey, because I remember too. How long ago did you start YouTube? Like, what was the when was the first time you started to take it like serious in terms of yeah putting more time into it?
We
Four
really I
years ago,
started out
no?
with a podcast, and then
Yeah,
Connor, the other half of Anfield Agenda,
yeah,
suggested to me to try YouTube, and I think I was 35 at the time, and I
yeah,
wasn't somebody who consumed much YouTube content either, so
yeah,
it felt very strange. And the longer form content happened naturally for me because
yeah.
I started a stream and I talked with people that came in, and it just kind of built from there. And
I love it.
um, it's been the most beautiful thing in my life. It's helped me mature. It's helped me be a better man. It's helped
Yeah,
me be less angry. I've learned so much on this journey because of beautiful people like yourself that I've had the option to make content with, to get to know, to get different perspectives. And it doesn't have to be toxic what we do in this
yeah,
industry,
yeah,
and I think the
but
more we can make content like this where we can talk about it and
yeah,
say, yeah, it's not perfect all the time, it can be difficult, but
yeah,
do you know what, I won't lie, sometimes I get sucked back into it. Like
yeah,
yesterday there was an incident where somebody bad-mouthed me and I kind of got a bit angry about it, but when I
yeah,
sat down and thought about it last night, I'm in a very privileged position. I love what I do, and I knew I was getting to sit here and talk to you today, and I knew I'd get my injection of positivity that I
yeah.
needed.
Yeah. No, but seriously, it's amazing to see because I really feel like a large majority of what you see online is and within football too is like clickbaity or toxic and all these things. And you come into your life like I've come to your lives and over time, and you see also the way that you interact with everyone that's involved. And that's also what I've wanted to do in lives. It's like really valuing everyone that's there, like we're all in a room together and we're all just having a regular chat. And that's I really love that part of it.
So I've got a question that I know you will get asked a lot, and I certainly get asked a lot as well. The question is, to any content creators out there who are maybe starting their journey or are thinking about getting into it, what advice would you give them?
Yeah, so actually I was talking shout out to Adam to Liverpool photos from Instagram, but he has so much knowledge about Liverpool, about football. And though I think the hardest thing is really the hate, the trolls that come that are going to be there no matter what. And I think the most difficult is overcoming that, is the fact that you see these and to try to just externalize it and say, listen, like these are people who are probably going through a rough day or are something's happening in their lives that's not related to you, because at the end of the day, how could they know you when they see just a little segment of you? And so to be able to see those comments and tell yourself, you know what, those comments, I'm not going to value. I'm going to look at the positivity. And again, if you spread that, then it's going to come back towards you. And so I would really say when you're yourself, then and hopefully it's a positive self or like trying to spread positivity, then over time all of those comments that are more difficult will be easier to deal with because you see what it means when I'm sure also when you hit 100,000 on the channel and you receive messages, you're like, this means more than I thought. Like,
I'll tell you what
yeah,
it was for me. We did a live show in Dublin over the summer,
yeah,
and it was a fairly small show, but I had the privilege of getting to speak to people afterwards who came and had traveled from, honestly, as far as Boston across to come to see the show. And we spent an hour afterwards talking with people and to hear their stories about, like, one story nearly had me in tears. There was a Manchester United fan who'd come to the show who obviously has no interest in Liverpool, but he used to
yeah.
watch Anfield Agenda streams with his brother, who sadly passed away of an illness. And they used to sit in
Oh,
hospital and watch the streams together. And
yeah.
if that doesn't move you, if that doesn't let you know that
I have the
you have the pleasure of being in
goosebumps.
people's lives at some point and sharing moments with them, it was beautiful. I was so sad,
Yeah.
obviously, but it was beautiful to see that you maybe touch people in that way or
It's
had a positive impact.
Yeah, and something that I really like, my one of my big goals for the channel, and that's why I would love for you to be part of it, but it's something more down the line because like you, I'm still learning so much about YouTube. Like I didn't really watch YouTube either when I started, but talking about mental health, I think is such a powerful thing because as men, I think it's something that we don't often talk about, and I think these type of platforms are such a powerful way to do that because we come together through football and we could talk about football for hours and hours. We could talk about Trent in whatever position, but then for us to come together in this safe space and then to be able to talk about what we've gone through, I know that for me, in those down moments, when I've heard that I wasn't alone, it changed everything, because it often you're just in your head and you feel like what you're going through no one can help you with, but that's not true. It's really not true. And I really, like, that's one of my goals for the channel, is to be able to find a way, kind of, to have conversations and to share stories, because I just feel like it can have a real impact, and through football, because it's a lot of men that do watch it. I also think we can kind of, yeah, to be able to discuss that side of things, because I do think that for men it's harder to talk about it.
Absolutely. But what I will say is, thanks to people like yourself and a new generation of young people coming through, I think that conversation's getting easier. I think people
Yeah,
are willing to open up. And look, there will always be people. For instance,
yeah,
yesterday I told you about a bit of a negative impact I
yeah,
had.
right,
So I read through some of the comments on a TikTok video, and I've spoken about how both my parents took their own lives and how
yeah,
hurtful it was, obviously, and
yeah,
people telling me to do what my parents did, and I sit back and I think, how can somebody be so angry and so bitter and so resentful? But then I look around at the world and I just think it is a reflection of what we're seeing in society. So there's always room for positivity. We need to spread it. We need to be upbeat. We need to be
yeah,
optimistic, and we need to
absolutely,
tell people that we're all weak at times. We all need help.
yeah,
It's no weakness to put your hand out and say, "Please help me. I need some help." It's better that we do it, that it's there, than we lose somebody that we love and we don't have a chance
100%.
to put that right.
No, 100%. And it's the weird thing too. I don't know if you've noticed. It's like on TikTok too. I see there's so much more negativity than YouTube. Do you see that too? I
Oh, it's so
like
toxic, mate,
it's
and
crazy.
it's so unnecessary because we all want to speak positivity, but people undermine certain people when they speak about mental health. They see it as a
Yeah.
weakness, and I can promise you one thing, my friend. I'm not a weak person.
Oh,
I'm
you
a very
definitely
strong-willed
aren't. You
person.
definitely aren't. Oh.
So I'm glad that we're having this conversation. But you know what? I want to just go to a comment that's come up in the chat so much, and I think we have to address it. Everybody said, could we at some point do a watch along together? And I'm
Yeah.
definitely up for it if you'd like it.
I would love that. No, seriously. I think you seriously, like, it's insane. I sometimes look at your watch alongs, because I do them almost all the time now, but I look and you'll have like 3,000 watching at the same time. Like, it's amazing. Like, I really think Anfield Agenda is the biggest Liverpool. I was talking to Adam about it this morning. I think Anfield Agenda is the biggest Liverpool YouTube community in terms of engagement, in terms of the community that you've created and that you're all part of, and that I'm a part of too, because I've also been following the journey. It's amazing. Like, seriously.
I don't know how I got here to this point. I'm a
Yeah.
very lucky man, but as I keep saying, it's the community for me. They're what keeps me going, and they're what keep me
Me too.
interested, and they're what keep me feeling love and positivity. It's rare on the internet, but somehow we've got this amazing community, my friend, and
Yeah.
long may it continue. And you know what? I just want to say again, I'm so happy to see you hit 100,000
Thank
subscribers,
you.
because to do it so quickly, like you have, with just 900 videos up on the channel, which is not a lot when you look at the amount of videos that people
Yeah.
have made, you're onto something. People love you. Be you, continue to be you.
Thank
And if
you.
ever I can help,
Thank you, bro.
ever with anything, reach out
Yeah.
and we will do it, my friend, because
Mm.
the world needs more of people like
Yeah.
Leo's goals.
Yeah.
And I'm
And
here
people
to
like you
support
too.
that if I can.
Seriously, no, and thank you, because I'm telling you, you asked about the journey for Leo's goals, and the community, and it's a big inspiration has been your channel, and it's been not just the way you've conducted yourself and the way you've shared your stories and been open and spread that positivity, but it's also the community. And I see the chat, I see the messages, I see everything, and I saw how it can be something beautiful. And like you said, the reason why I also kept going, like, when you're posting every day, you must get the same feeling. Sometimes you're like, what is life? Like, every day you wake up and you're in front of a camera by yourself and you're like, what is this? And then I do think that, like you said, the community, and you see the messages and you see what it can mean. And that's when I'm like, this, I can't imagine a more beautiful thing to do in life.
Yeah, I mean, the beautiful game is called the beautiful game for a reason. It can do things that not many others can do. I mean, who would have thought that our beloved football club could join us all together from different parts of the world with different backgrounds, different ages, different religions, different sexual
It's
orientations, but with
incredible.
one love of the beautiful sport. And
It's
it's amazing. It honestly blows my mind all the time, mate. We can see the good of what this football club can really do. And as I said, it's a pleasure to be doing this stream with
Absolute
you. And I look
pleasure.
forward to hopefully doing that watch along with you real soon as well.
Yes. And thank you so much for having me on. Seriously, like it's an honor.
Mate, the pleasure is all ours. I'm only sorry it took this long, but that's
Yeah,
on me and
no,
nobody else. I'm
no, 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 no,
so bad at setting dates for stuff
no,
like that. But
no.
my friends, we're going to say goodbye to Leo
Yes.
in a moment. But
Goodbye.
before I do,
Oh,
do go over, check out Leo's goals. He's just hit 100,000 subscribers recently. He's at 102 now. You won't regret it. The content is amazing. He's a lovely, upbeat guy, and we need to show him some love. So, Leo, thank you
really
for your
appreciate
time.
it.
Continue all your
Thank
great work,
you.
mate, and we'll
Thank
be here
you.
to support you however we can.
You'll never walk alone. Thank you.
Much love, my friend. We will talk soon. Take care.
All the best. Take care, everyone. Bye.
My friends, I am going to carry on. We'll go through the news for the next 25, 30 minutes or so. Let me just say that was a joy, a pleasure to be able to share a stream, some moments with Leo. I hope you can see why we wanted to have him on. He's just a special guy. There's no other way of putting it. And he deserves all the love, admiration, respect he's getting. So check out Leo's Goals on YouTube. Check out the Liverpool Goals account on Instagram. I'm sure you probably know about it already. Over 1.3, 1.4 million Instagram followers. He's an incredible dude doing great work, and we're here to support him however we can. So, yeah, that was one of my favorite streams so far. Honestly, I love that. That's put me in such a good mood. So, yes, much love to Leo. And we get stuck into the news and do what we always do. So, firstly, I want to ask a question. I'm seeing lots of stuff coming into the chat about Alisson. Have we got a confirmation of what's going on there? So, has Alisson's news broke? Because as I've gone live, always the case, so I haven't been able to catch up yet. Right, what else we got? Top guy. Oh, he's lovely. He's so nice, isn't he? He's one of the good guys in our industry, and we need more people like Leo making content. So yeah, please do go over and show Leo all the love that he deserves because he's a top guy. Right, so what else have we got? Craig Leo. Oh, we're getting the watch along. Don't worry, we've already agreed. We'll do a watch along together. We'll get that in the books, and yeah, well, of course, it'll be my pleasure to do it with him. It'll be great fun. Chat's been saying 5 weeks, but I can't find anybody credible saying it. So then, from what I know, there is no confirmation as of yet as to Alisson Becker's prognosis. Now, as always, you will see stuff on social media that will suggest that he's out for X amount of time. But until it comes from an Ornstein, a Pierce, a Joyce, or the club direct, I think we need to just take it with a pinch of salt. Now, I do want to talk transfers for a little bit, folks, if I can, because Liverpool have been linked today with a kid from AC Milan who, I've got to be honest, I know absolutely nothing about. So I need your help here. Is this guy, Francesco Camarada, is he the real deal? He's 15 years of age, plays for AC Milan. AC Milan have looked to get an exemption from the Italian FA to give this guy a professional contract, which you can't do until he's 16. He's 15 at the moment. So I want to know, have you watched him? Have you seen him play for Milan at all? And what type of player is he? Because I have zero information about him other than that link that came from 90 Min today. He's been amazing in the academy, said Quinch. Is that the AC Milan striker who had a debut recently? Honestly, hand on heart, mate, I don't even know what position he plays. Here's the report. It said, Liverpool eyeing Francesco Camarada move. AC Milan are reportedly facing a battle to keep 15-year-old Francesco Camarada, according to 90 Min. The Italian starler came off the bench against Fiorentina at the weekend, and they just go on to speak about what I've said to you about the contract, about Milan looking to get him a pro deal. So, hand on heart, I don't even know if he is a striker. That's how little I know about him. Andy Cook, welcome, my friend at Anfield Agenda FC. Thank you for your support. Hey, Craig, how does one become a mod? So, honestly, it's a matter of just getting used to people in the chat, getting to know who's regular, who isn't. It's not like it's a badge of honor. A couple of things. If we need mods, we usually look for people who are in most streams because, of course, you want people who are there for watch-alongs and stuff like that. And we're very lucky at the moment. Our moderators are able to handle the chat as it is because you guys are awesome and there's not much toxicity in it. So at the moment, we don't really need any, and there isn't really a way to say, do this, you become a moderator. It's just a natural thing that happens, really. So if this stat is true, and I've no reason to believe it isn't from Mikhail, he scored 489 goals in 89 matches. Wow. If that's the case, then he's clearly doing something at underage level. That's amazing. About 500 goals in under 100 games, said Lasse Sorensen. Davino, much love right back to you, buddy. The good news, Davino, is we are about to get that contract sent over from the House of Blues for that Boston show. So I will have that contract in my hands in the coming days. As soon as it's signed and inked, then we can start talking about tickets and stuff like that. Watch along with Menace and the Monk. I have no idea what that means. If that's gone over my head, I mean, I don't know if you're slagging me, praising me. If it's a joke, I've got no idea, dude. It's gone straight over my head. I might be ticked, but what does them all do? No, mate, you're not ticked. Don't be stupid like that. Everybody has questions. There's no such thing as a silly question. So a moderator just helps us keep the chat how we want it to be. You know, stops spamming, stops abusive messages, and just helps me out basically like that. So yeah, it's that's all what a moderator does. And we're very fortunate. Mark is our chief moderator on the channel, and we've got a great team of mods that that really we wouldn't be able to make the content without. So I wanted to draw your attention, guys, to something from Martin Ziegler, who is a very well-respected journalist. If I'm not mistaken, I think he works with the Times with Paul Joyce. So Martin Ziegler posted something on X earlier on, and he said, "New news: FIFA working party has an idea to consider extending VAR powers, such as free kicks, corners, second yellow, but it prompts fears from clubs and managers of more delays in games." So I want to get your thoughts on that. If FIFA are looking to, again, increase the powers or the threshold for what VAR can intervene in, like second yellows, corners, free kicks, should we do it? Is it something we want in the sport? Or will it just lead to further delays in the game? And are we, I guess the question I have is, are we looking for perfection of decision making in a sport where there will never be perfection of decision making? So are we going too far in the opposite way, or should we streamline what VAR do? Because I've got to be honest, there's been occasions where I wish that there was VAR interference for a corner that shouldn't have been, or a yellow card that was never a yellow card that was so apparently stupid that I wish there was interference from VAR. But in other ways, I look at what Ange Postecoglou said about the game being so stop-start, and how Premier League football in particular is known for its relentlessness with its high pace. So I'm kind of torn on it, if I'm being honest. So I'd love to know your thoughts. Yeah, those extending VAR powers will absolutely kill the game, said T. No more, said Wirham of Bly. Some more shite decisions incoming, said their Wizzy lover. No further problems, said David Cornwell. So yeah, I understand that, because what I'd like to see personally is to bring in the automated, semi-automated offside to keep referees as the decision makers. And what I'd like personally, I think the one biggest problem we have in England with the VAR interference is this threshold of what is clear and obvious. It needs to be spelled out. We need to have a definitive answer to what will lead to an intervention from VAR and what won't. This threshold is one that's apparently just made up in people's heads. Nobody knows the actual bar for how VAR will be coming in to make a decision or not. Score predictions for Thursday, said Mr. History. I'll be doing the preview tomorrow, so don't worry about that one. I'll get that out tomorrow for you guys. Prediction. I mean, it's going to be a handy win, I would say. I know I read something from the last Glint's coach. They said they're not coming for the scenery, or they're not coming for a holiday. They're coming to try and get a result. But ultimately, depends how strong Klopp goes. You know, it's important that we get the win. We want to make sure we finish top of our Europa League group, so we don't play one of the teams that drops out from the Champions League. So look, I'm comfortable we get a victory, but I'm intrigued to see how Klopp goes with the team selection, because obviously we've got Fulham then coming up at the weekend. Don't you find it weird to look at the Premier League table and see Man United so close to us, considering how vastly different our seasons have been? 100%. Dominic Sobosexual 69. Yeah, myself and Adam were only talking about this on top of the league yesterday. It's weird because perception from all of us is that United are in this meltdown mode where they've got injuries and they've made weak signings, but factually, they're 4 points away from us, and we would consider that we're having a pretty good season. It is strange. It is. It doesn't really add up when you look at it, but the league table doesn't lie. Menace and the Monk are YouTubers and Liverpool supporters from India, the only Liverpool channel in India. So I know we often do, or on occasion, we've done video calls with the official Liverpool supporters club from Pune in India. And I don't know if they have a YouTube channel or not, but it would be my pleasure. Honestly, any videos I've done with Liverpool fans from India, I've been blown away by their knowledge, by their enthusiasm, and by their love of the game. So look, again, if you can point us in the right direction or they reach out, we can absolutely make these things happen. Unlike some others, we're not afraid to bring on other Liverpool content creators and introduce them to you guys in the world, because if we can find people like Leo from Leo's Goals who are putting out the right messages, positive, upbeat, lovely guy, great influence on the Liverpool fan base, why wouldn't we want to show that to the world? There's enough space for all of us to make content. We had a lot of tough away fixtures, said Red Sai. I don't know, Sai, you a Liverpool or a United fan? I'm only asking because I would also view that Liverpool have had a lot of tough away fixtures. If we look at it, we've played Newcastle away, Chelsea away, Brighton away, City away. I think there's one more in there I'm forgetting about. Spurs away. So yeah, I think we've done a lot of the heavy lifting at our end this season, and I'm looking forward to a really good end to the season. For VAR to work, they need to take out the human interpretation of the rules and have all situations covered in a rule book like the NFL. Yep, I think that would certainly help with consistency of decision making, David. I don't think that's a bad idea. I would go as far as to say, I think with VAR, they need to revisit football in general, the rules, and make them more technology friendly. You're a Liverpool fan, so sorry, mate. Sorry, that's my bad. I should have known because I know you're a regular viewer of the channel, mate. Yeah, we've had some very difficult away games, like you've said. Now, weirdly, the results haven't been great, Newcastle aside, but we are where we want to be. If you said this to me at the start of the season, that we'll be coming into December within 1 point of Manchester City and 2 points at the top of the league, I'd have bitten your hand off for it. I would. And that's why I'm so optimistic for the remainder of this season, because we're usually stronger in the second half of the season. And right now, we're within touching distance of greatness, of that league title. This is the chance for Kelleher to prove himself. I mean, absolutely. Look, nobody can say that if we lose Alisson for a prolonged period of time, it isn't going to hurt us. It will. But I think Queeveen will come in and do as well as he can. He's not Alisson's level, but then again, who is? And hopefully Ali's back soon, because I think there's the potential for big things this season. So one thing I do want to ask you guys is, do you think this is going to be the most exciting end to a Premier League season that we've maybe ever seen? Okay, you've got the Aguero moment for Manchester City in their first league title, but the sheer amount of teams who are so close to each other in the Premier League right now. You've got Aston Villa up there. You've got a bit of a resurgence from Newcastle. United only 4 points away from us, 6 points off the top. You've got Arsenal and Spurs, North London rivals, right up there. You've got Manchester City. From the neutral, or from a perspective of the league, I think this could be a title race for the ages. And it's so exciting and it's so refreshing to see multiple clubs in it. Any further links with Nuri? A little bit, but the story today was more that PSG are also interested in, and that's the most up to date I've seen. Craig is my king, the GOAT, the real deal. Nathan, thank you. Oh, really quickly. So I wanted to address the Angry Ginge thing just really quickly. So let me say this. I shouldn't have been drawn into a reaction from a young person speaking badly about me who doesn't know me. That part is on me. So for that, to my subscribers, I want to apologize if I was a bit reactionary, because I need to rise above these things. I need to be better, and that's on me. So what I want to say is, in my younger days, I would have bitten back on these things more. I would have been angry. I would have wanted to defend my honor, my reputation, for want of a better phrase. But I need to rise above these things, and I can't help if people talk about me or in a positive or negative way. That's on them. But what I can do is take care of what I do, which is make our content, try and be optimistic and positive, and try and keep pushing forward with what we do. So I'm not going to be speaking about it anymore. I don't want to get drawn into a slanging match with anybody. It isn't what I want to do with my life and my content. So if others want to get their views that way and others want to fall out with each other, leave them to it. But for me, I just want to do what I do, make my content, have fun, and try and provide for my family and do the best I can do. And I don't want to get drawn into the negativity because my life's so much happier within it. So yeah, it's something I need to just keep an eye on for myself. But other than that, I didn't want to really talk about it anymore. I just wanted to bring it up and address it really quickly. And yeah, I try not to hold hate for anybody, but I also don't like being talked shit about when nobody knows me. I've never spoken to this person, so it is what it is. But we'll be moving on and concentrating on what we do again in the future. So for that one, all good. What else was there? There was a few other things I need to fill you. Oh, tomorrow. So tomorrow I'll be on top of the league. We'll be live here at 6:30. So we'll be doing our stream a bit earlier. We'll be on top of the league for the PSG Newcastle game if you'd like to join me for that from 7:30. And then on Wednesday, myself and Adam will be doing a joint watch along of Manchester United's trip to Galatasaray in a must-win game for them in the Champions League. So hope you can join us for that one as well. Would you consider Arsenal a serious contender? So the short answer, Dania, is no, but I have to caveat why. I have nothing but respect for the job Arteta has done for the Arsenal fan base and for what they're doing as a club. And they're definitely heading in the right direction. And they've made some really astute signings. I just think there's still a little bit away. But I promise you, if they put it together and win the league, I'll be on here congratulating them on a job well done. I've nothing but respect for Arsenal, their fan base, and their manager. But I just don't see it. Yeah, I think they need to address the centre forward issue. And I think they're going in the right direction. But I don't see them as being able to go on a 10-11 game winning streak, which is sometimes what you have to do. So maybe I'm wrong in that. And if I am, again, I will hold my hands up. But a lot of respect for what Arteta's doing. A lot of respect for them as a club. Just, I don't see it yet. I think we are the best placed to really go head-to-head with Manchester City. I heard Trent is getting punished for the celebration. No, he's not. Confirmation 100%, he is not getting punished. The FA aren't even looking at it. That was from James Pearce earlier on, who said, just ignore that. It's not happening. Craig, 2 Man City fans withering down my ear that Ederson's better than Alisson. So here's what I don't get, right? What does it matter? Like, if they think Ederson's better than Alisson or vice versa, it doesn't really matter. The fact of it is, Ederson is Manchester City's goalkeeper and Alisson is our goalkeeper. So who's better is going to be open to interpretation. But I think what we could say as Liverpool fans, we wouldn't swap Ali for anyone. And Ali had a poor game against Man City, but if there's anyone in our team that has enough credit in the bank for that, it is Alisson Becker. So I wouldn't mind what the two City fans are saying to you, mate. Did you guys see as well today that Dermot Gallagher on Ref Watch said that it absolutely was a foul on Alisson Becker, that challenge that led to City's disallowed goal? Which, look, I hate Ref Watch. I hate the whole thing, but I do agree. And as I said, I thought it was a soft foul, but a foul nonetheless. Do you think we can win the Carabao Cup this season? Yes. I mean, we've got West Ham at home, so you'd be hopeful we can go through there. And then after that, look, we're not too far away from lifting that trophy, so we can do it, yes. Opinions on Van Dijk's form. It's been excellent. When you look at the statistics, and I said this was only up until the other day, but not only is he the best defender in England now statistically, but he's the best centre-back in Europe's top 5 leagues statistically. I think F Brief came out with that stat. So look, Van Dijk's been brilliant, and I've been paying attention to what he's been saying as well about how he's trusting his body now, and he feels like he can have the full range of motion, and his knee isn't giving him second thoughts or concerns. So it's brilliant, and long may it continue. How long is Becker gone for? We don't know yet, Charlie. There's no confirmation as to how long he's out for. It's FB ref, whatever it's called. I mean, again, I made a mistake, mate, but thank God you're here to point it out to me. And you knew who I was on about, though, right? So, I mean, apologies if I'm not up on all the sites and stuff. I read a lot of stuff a day, buddy. So, do you think Endo might persuade Matoma to come to Liverpool? I don't think Matoma's good enough for Liverpool. In all honesty, I don't think he's consistent enough for what we need. He's a good footballer, but I don't think he's Liverpool caliber footballer. I was shocked to see that we've conceded the least amount of goals this season alongside Arsenal, considering our defence was shipping in goals at the beginning of the season. So what got me, Arian, was I think it was Rio Ferdinand and Peter Crouch on TNT Sport speaking about how Arsenal's defence puts them ahead of Liverpool, in their opinion, in being able to have a sustainable challenge for the title, ignoring what you've just said, that we are as good as Arsenal defensively, and we don't even have our normal left back available. Now, I know Arsenal have their own injuries, and Jurrien Timber's been out for them since pretty much day one. So I don't get it, but let everybody keep not believing in us, and we'll just go about our business. And at the end of the season, we'll see where we are. Howard welcome to Anfield Agenda FC, buddy. Really appreciate your support. Rio is, I don't know, off his bean. I don't know what you mean with that one. Bellingham Brighton, my boy on Trent, post his Instagram. Yeah, they're really good mates. Did you see he's just about to sign a brand deal with Louis Vuitton, which is class for Jude Bellingham. And of course, Trent has that very sizable Adidas deal that he's just signed as well. I mean, that video that he posted about him from 2005 to where he is now, it was great to see. And I'm delighted for Trent as well that he's getting that recognition. Arsenal have Declan Rice in front of their goal, though. Yes, exactly. Imagine if we had Declan Rice in front of our defence, or somebody of that stature in front of our defence. So I agree. I think our defence is absolutely fine, but we're both short. I mean, every team in the Premier League can probably look at their squad and feel like we could probably strengthen in an area or two. But for us to have so quickly gone from a team that looked like we'd no legs in midfield last year to what we have now, I'm just optimistic. Adriana Carius. God. Probably Adrian, maybe. But, I mean, I wouldn't be confident. I still get shivers when I hear the word San Miguel, even if someone's talking about the drink. Like, is it safe to say Adrian will never play for us again? So I get a feeling he'll get one run out when it doesn't matter, even if it's for a bit of a game. I feel he'll get a moment from Klopp to say thank you and goodbye on the pitch. But I can't see him, unless Kelleher picks up an injury, I can't see him really having a sniff. Mark, thank you for gifting a membership, mate. That's very kind. That one has gone to Fran Daly. I must be joking. About what? About Adrian or Karius? They're both shy. Like, they're both really bad. Like, I would not feel comfortable having either in goal. They both don't have a good enough level of concentration for me. So it's like picking whether I'd like genital warts or anal warts. It's not an appetizing decision. Thoughts on Spurs losing 3 in a row? If I was them, the one that would concern me was the Villa game. If I was Spurs fans, because that's a game that they needed to get something from. And if I'm not mistaken, do Spurs have Man City next or very soon? So that's another difficult game. But I never expected Spurs to last the pace. And again, with all due respect to the football club and their manager, I just don't think they're there yet. They're at a stage where if they've their best 11 available every week, they'll compete with anyone. But they're very thin with regards to quality and depth. So when you see Madison out or if Son gets injured, I think you'll see that fall away then from Spurs. So I expect them to be in the Champions League places at the end of the season. Has Pitaluga made an appearance? I don't. Maybe in pre-season, perhaps, but I don't think he's made a senior appearance for Liverpool. I don't think so. Thoughts on Douglas Luiz and is he good enough? Is he good enough? Potentially. Thoughts on him? We can do better. And also, Villa aren't a selling club. People need to start giving Villa a bit more respect. They're building something with Unai Emery, and they've got decent financial backing. They've got a great fan base. So look, I'm happy to see Aston Villa back up at the upper end of the Premier League because I've always had a soft spot for them as a club, and a real respect for Unai Emery as a coach. Whereas Leo, you missed them, Noah. We were live at 8:30. Leo's here for about 35 minutes, and you were late, buddy. That's on you. Robbie Fowler or Michael Owen? Look, Robbie Fowler is my favourite ever Liverpool player. So for me, the answer is Robbie Fowler. But both of them knew where the back of the net was. Right, my friends, I'm going to say goodnight because truth be told, I'm not feeling well today. I've a bit of a tummy bug. So I will see you guys tomorrow for 6:30. We'll be live tomorrow. I'll also be putting out the preview tomorrow ahead of the last Glints game. So gonna say goodnight to you all. And don't forget to join us tomorrow for the watch along over on Top of the League as well of PSG Newcastle. But until then, I will see you soon. And thank you for those who joined us. Don't forget to check out Leo's goals. Very, very lovely guy and deserves all the accolades and love that he's getting. So go over, check out Leo's goals, give him a sub, give Liverpool Goals a follow on Instagram. And yeah, thank you for your time again this evening. You're all amazing. We'll talk to you